Guys, it is great to be back here. It is just wonderful to be back here for the second year here at the conference. So thanks so much for everybody who organized the conference, for making this happen. Ellie, who was here last year, just by show of hands? Excellent, excellent. Okay, great. So last year we had a great discussion. We not only spoke about Hometalk, but we spoke about authenticity, viral video content. Do you guys remember that? We spoke about how we got several hundred million video views and the content creation. But guess what we're not going to talk about this year? Guess what we're not going to talk about this year? Authenticity, excellent. But something else. We're not going to talk about content. I know we're at Content Israel, and I know that content is the name of the game, but today we're not going to talk about content. We've already had wonderful talks about content. We'll continue to have phenomenal talks about content creation, but today we're going to talk about how to actually get our content in front of people's eyes. We could create the most wonderful content in the world, but if nobody's going to see that, then of what purpose is that content? So today we're going to go through a little story. A little story about us at Hometalk and how my team and I, how we were able to amplify the distribution of our content to get 300 million website visits, over 500 million video views, and a net profit from the traffic of over $1 million. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Thank you. Audience participation, that was beautiful. Thank you. A big round of applause for audience participation. But very importantly, I'm not up here to toot our horn. I'm not up here to really rave about Hometalk. Let's not talk about Hometalk too much. Rather, I'm going to go through a story of what we've done so that all of us here today can take that message and relate it back to whatever it is that all of us do, our businesses, our personal lives, whatever it is that we're involved with, to take those messages and be able to distribute them to more people than we were before. So let's get started. Hometalk. Just in one sentence, without going into the metrics, we'll get into that soon. Our mission at Hometalk is to empower everybody to create the home they love. So often, it's so expensive to renovate our homes, to buy beautiful furniture. And so often, we want to live in more beautiful homes, to feel more comfortable. Yet, so often, we feel limited by our resources to make that happen. Hometalk is the world's largest DIY community, whereby we have millions of people coming to the website, watching our videos, engaging in content, so that we could all create the homes that we love on an affordable budget. Last year, though, about a year and a half ago, I saw a trend online. There seemed to be presentation mode. Excellent. Okay. There seemed to be this really unique trend that a company called Little Things was getting more Facebook engagement than BuzzFeed, than many of the top news outlets. A company called Little Things. And me running biz dev at Hometalk, I was wondering, how do we try to create that kind of engagement on Facebook? At that point, we had about 1.5 million likes on Facebook, but we were trying to discover what it is that we could do to amplify those channels. Reached out to this company called Little Things. I never really heard of them before, and I was wondering what we could do to make that happen. They told us, here's our model. We would like to pay you, Hometalk, you have over 1 million likes on Facebook, we want to pay you to share our content on your page. Tell us more. So they explained that they are going to pay us about a $7 CPM, $7 every 1,000 clicks back to their website if we were to post their viral Facebook content. Tell us more. They said, great, we organically test all content on our pages, we dark post, we do all this kind of stuff, and then we would give you a unique tracker. You post it, we track all the visits that you send, and you'll get paid. Phenomenal. We hung up the phone, my CMO and I said, oh my goodness, we are definitely not doing that, but we definitely are doing that. We don't want to post their content on our page, but this might be a gold mine of an opportunity to start to leverage dozens or hundreds of influencers to send traffic not to Little Things, but to Hometalk. So when we saw the Little Things engagement in terms of metrics, we were thinking, oh my goodness, this is a tremendous opportunity. The next slide, please. Excellent. Yes. Oh, excellent, great. Excellent, great. So we started to reach out to large pages. Take a look at an example. 12 tomatoes, 8.9 million likes on Facebook. It's the core demo on Hometalk. Just going to take a quick little sip of water. The core demo on Hometalk.
What's the core demo?
Excellent question. Risa, the water is phenomenal. Thank you so much. Not only for the conference, but for the water. That is great. The core demo on Hometalk, women 35 plus in the US. So when we talk about influencers and engaging the relevant Hometalk members or the relevant people in the States, we're trying to find Facebook pages that have the same type of demographic that would be interested in our content. This page seemed very relevant. 12 tomatoes. Again, 8.9 million likes. We reached out. They're a part of a network, a company, and they started to post our content. This is an example of a typical post. They were to take a post of ours. Next time you're at Home Depot, buy some river stones, make this adorable keepsake idea. So you see that I actually liked it. My colleague Alan liked it too, and 435 others liked the post. Then what we do, and I'm just going to show you, I've never given this talk before, just by the way. It's my first time. I've never spoken about this publicly, but I'm really trying to show you real examples of what we're doing, which is still relatively new in the market, so that we can all learn from this. This is an example of a dashboard on our site. So when we have influencers that are sharing our content, they always have a unique tracker of every single post they put on their page, and they can take a look. This is an example of an influencer. His name is Chell Media, Matthew Chell from the States. He has about 2 or 3 Facebook pages. We give him a $12 CPM. Is everybody familiar with the word CPM here at a content conference? That means that, or it's really CPC in this, is that we pay him $12 for every 1,000 clicks that he sends back to Hometalk. $12 for every 1,000 clicks he sends back to Hometalk. That means that, and just take a look at his engagement so far. Matthew Chell historically has sent 28 million visits to Hometalk. He's generated $320,000 US, not shekels, in revenue from the traffic that he sent. He could take a look, and this is on Hometalk. He logs into his partner dashboard. He can take a look at which post did well, how many clicks he got per day, how much revenue he earned per day, and we have these dashboards for over 200 influencers on the website. Thankfully, to date, and just to kind of move forward, because we'll talk about Facebook, Pinterest, and then video. Thankfully, to date, on Facebook, we've sent approximately 300 million visits to Hometalk in the last year and a half through these influencers. And we're working with dozens of active influencers. And again, what we try to do very often, and this is very important, is not only generate arbitrage revenue on day one, which means that if we're giving Matthew $12 per CPM, we have to track revenue-wise how much money are we generating from the traffic to ensure we're generating just at least a little bit more than he's making. But in addition, we try to register to sign up as much of his traffic as possible so that they would organically return through our daily email and come back as regular Hometalk members and engage on the website. As such, all the revenue that we look at Matthew Chell is not just the arbitrage on day one, but it's also the accrued revenue over the last year and a half of all the signups that he sent. And in the program, we've generated about 2.5 million new members to Hometalk as a result of the influencer traffic to Hometalk. But I just want to let you guys know, this is really important, and I'm not just standing up here to toot our horns again. This is, like with any product that we build, like with any new service that we launch, it is really, really hard. And I'm being open here. I almost closed this program several times. I remember vividly being on the train last summer, going into New York City to our office there, and I had a meeting with my CEO. About an hour and a half later, I was dreading that meeting. I was trying to somehow cancel the meeting. Our numbers were not hitting anywhere near the KPIs that we had set out. Things were not looking hopeful, and I started just to pray up on the train. I was like, God, please help me. I don't want to have this. Crying like a little kid. Thankfully, my CEO actually canceled the meeting. He was busy. We met the next day, and that day we had a couple of breakthroughs in terms of who we met and what we were able to discover, inviting new influencers into the program. Parenthetically, the greatest piece of advice I can give to anybody in this room is prayer. Just by the way, for anything to work ever, period, ever, says anybody ever, we have to pray. But I'm going to shift out of that. That's not the kind of talk I'm giving right now. Let's move on though, because outside of Facebook, and Facebook's a tumultuous world, even on our organic posts, how much reach we get, how much reach we don't get. Does any of you manage their company's Facebook page? Any sort of business page? Is anybody frustrated with Facebook? Does anybody love Facebook? Awesome. The greatest word I heard about Facebook was a frenemy. They're a friend and an enemy. We love them and we hate them. Please don't show this to Facebook. They have been tremendous in helping us boost our business, but at the same time, any tweak in the algorithm and any sort of expectation we had on any engagement can totally flop. Please note that. Please embrace that. We need to in order to succeed in business. Moving on though, we wanted to diversify off of Facebook. Facebook's great, again, but super complicated, and reach for businesses are going down unless we pay for it. We all know that. So we wanted to discover more on Pinterest. Is anybody a Pinterest, an avid user of Pinterest here in this room? Pinterest is a beast of a machine. And again, I love Pinterest too, but it's much more complex than Facebook. Pinning to different boards. I did not know Pinterest before this, but I really dived in to understand it. And then there's a long tail of engagement. Whereas on Facebook, if somebody posts right now, "My content is real, selfie," and then we might get 3, 4, 5 likes or 70 likes if we're popular, but then 7 hours later, we'll be lucky if maybe one more person somehow finds it in their feed and likes it, right? Whereas on Pinterest, I can pin something, gets no engagement, and then a week later, all of a sudden it gets 1,000 clicks. Super weird, right? But we wanted to discover this. We have our own Pinterest account, and we started to test content with Pinterest. But what we quickly noticed on Pinterest is that there is seemingly very clear rules. You can't pay influencers on Pinterest to post your content. So how are we going to generate more engagement on Pinterest if we can't pay influencers on a CPC basis to drive traffic back to Hometalk? So we reached out to Pinterest. They were in touch with us. We had a great conversation. And I explained to them very transparently what we do on Facebook. Here's a couple links to take a look at the program that we have, the dashboards that we offer our influencers, and are you interested in allowing this for your platform? We see it as a win-win-win. Win for you, Pinterest, more engagement. Win for your influencers who have built up their fans because then they get to generate revenue. And win for Hometalk because ultimately we then get to get residual traffic and engage your members and give them in-depth content which you don't offer. Great. They came back a week later after meeting with their legal team, and thankfully they said, let's do it. But when we reached out to influencers, they said, we can't do that. Pinterest says no. No, they told us yes. They told us yes. Oh, where did they tell you yes? We want to see it in writing. So, flew out to San Francisco, met the team at Pinterest. I said, guys, it's going really well, sort of. We're building the tools, but people don't want to join the program because clearly you say it's not allowed. Totally bizarre and a total miracle. But they wrote a blog post on their business site about this. How to monetize on Pinterest. And just below, if you take a look, yep, you can use affiliate links and pins as long as you're not spamming pinners or otherwise making it hard for them to enjoy their time on Pinterest. Companies like Hometalk use affiliate programs to reach a broader audience with content creators. They advertised this post. They sent it out to everybody. And we then use this now to reach out to influencers on Pinterest and say, look, Pinterest is on board. Now, thankfully, we were also able to build unique tools. So this is the sample library on Hometalk for our Pinterest influencers. They can log in. They can take a look at hundreds of posts that have already proven to be viral on our organic Pinterest account with 900,000 followers. They can choose whatever content they want and click pin it. When they click pin it, it automatically appends their UTM, their unique tracker, because we know who they are, they're logged into Hometalk, and it's seamless to post the pins. Again, I want to be open and transparent because I'm just not here to toot a horn, it's just so we can all learn and grow. It has been a roller coaster of a ride. I've not shown this publicly before. This is a graph, daily clicks from Pinterest influencers to Hometalk, starting from May 1st up until yesterday. What this shows is that we started off at 0. Then we slowly had a spike, we came back down, shot up to 100,000 clicks a day, dropped back down, and then it's been, again, roller coaster of a ride. Early August, we said this might not be sustainable, and then slowly and steadily, thanks to the awesome team that we have and the influencers that are beginning to pin more, we've been driving traffic more and more, and over this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we hit records each day with over 200,000 visits a day, only through Pinterest influencers to Hometalk itself. But again, I want to remind us here that we need to embrace the adversity. We need to embrace the challenges that come. The difficulty provides the opportunity. Nobody does this on Pinterest. It has been really difficult, and again, we thought a couple times about shutting down the program. We need to be innovative, to be able to grow, to be where nobody else is, as you mentioned before. That's going to be very challenging. Let's all embrace that challenge, love the opportunity, and ride the innovation. Let's briefly talk about Facebook video as well. It's a third department that we have. As you may know, as we spoke about last year, but as you may know, Hometalk in the last year, if you take a look at the dates, I did the last year, October 30th to October 30th, we generated on our organic page 1.3 billion video views. That's on our one organic main page. But not only that, there was 1 billion minutes watched. So it's not just the 3-second views, but 1 billion minutes watched of the video views. The numbers are significantly higher, as you'll hear more though. What we wanted to do though was how to, again, amplify the distribution of this content. How do we get more people to see the videos? So again, we have influencers that we work with. These influencers are not creating the type of video that we are, so let's get them to share videos. Everybody wants to share great videos, especially business pages. As we all know, to get on Facebook's good side and rank higher in the algorithm, we need to be posting videos. So we created a cross-posting program whereby any influencer, publisher that may not have their own video content or just wants more, they can, for free, share any video from Hometalk that they want or cross-post it so it looks more native. We started off with one influencer, George Takei from Star Trek, about 10 million likes on his page. We then grew the program. Just to show you some examples. Jordan Sparks, a singer, so again, always tags Hometalk. This is another one from Ludacris. We have some celebrities that do that now. Ludacris. Just take a look at the tagline he used on top. This is dope. Nobody's ever called a Hometalk video dope before, but hey, it works, and it got 14 million views. That's Ludacris, and as I mentioned also, George Takei. We have many celebrities that share the videos, and many others that share the videos because they just want to further engage their audience, and they're not creating their own video. But again, we took a step back and said, not only how do we get video distribution, but how can we actually generate revenue from this? Because right now, we don't pay them and they don't pay us. Please note, over the last 8 months or so, we've had about more than 500 million additional video views from these influencers. So that 1.3 was really 1.8 billion video views. We didn't pay for that. Some of these celebrities even pay us to share the videos. But now we're thinking, how do we do this better and how do we do this more? So just to bring you through what we're working on right now, and I hope this is helpful, Facebook introduced what's called ad breaks. Is anybody familiar with that? Ad breaks on Facebook? Have you ever seen a Facebook video and all of a sudden it stops after the 15 mark, after about the 15-second mark and shows a little video? Or shows an ad?
Yeah, it's awful.
It's awful. Okay, great. It's awful. Any ads are always awful, right? YouTube, anywhere. Or no, some ads are actually, the Cisco ads are actually great. But other ads, as are the Food Delicious ones, many ads are awful. But that's how Facebook makes money. And therefore, Facebook is introducing ad breaks. They've only rolled it out to very few publishers to date to allow them to test mid-roll ads. YouTube has pre-roll, Facebook has mid-roll. What mid-roll ads means, of course, is that if I'm scrolling through my Facebook feed and I see an ad right away, of course I'll scroll right past it. But if I'm scrolling on my Facebook feed and I see a really engaging video, then I'm engaged in the video, and 20 seconds in, if they show me an ad, if I love the video, I'll stay through the ad. That's Facebook's strategy on mid-roll ads. So thankfully, about 2.5 weeks ago, we were invited to be part of what's called ad breaks on Facebook. That means that about 15 to 20 seconds in, we can introduce an ad on all of our videos. This video right here was posted on Thursday. It has already about 14 million views organically without the influencers sharing it. And just to introduce you to what ad breaks means, being very open with you, we've generated already over $12,000 from Facebook on this video. So we're now asking ourselves, how can we leverage our dozens of celebrities and influencers and publishers to create a rev share program with them and then further amplify the distribution of the video content? I hope I'm not using any buzzwords, by the way. I'm so self-conscious of that right now. Amplification, content. I didn't use word disrupting the market. I did not use that word. So. What we're trying to do next is to, what we're working on now is to build out a dashboard with Facebook APIs and start to have all these influencers share the videos. And what we really hope is to start to generate from these influencers, separate from our organic engagement, about 400 or 500 million video views a month. Paying our influencers, we're not sure exactly how much yet, it depends how much we're able to generate, but a lot of money sharing the videos and be able to ourselves generate a lot of money as a result too. And I'd just like to wrap up with some recap and some lessons. And these are lessons that I hope we can all take with us, regardless of the businesses that we're in, and make them relevant. Number one, having stellar content is a given. There's wonderful tips and tools that we're going to learn today, that we have learned today. Make that happen. Afterwards, not all content goes viral by itself. Let's think about how do we leverage others to amplify the distribution of this content without just paying for it on Facebook, which is often more expensive, or on Pinterest, or on Instagram. What can we do to leverage other people? It's not just a publisher model, and I want to be very clear, and I'll speak about that third. It's not just as a publisher, there's different ways to do so. Number two, think beyond Facebook. As much as we all love Facebook, we all might not love Facebook so much too, and therefore think beyond Facebook, even if it's Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, or just email newsletters, or our friends, whatever it might be. Think strategically to how to get in front of the eyes of the relevant customers that we have so we're able to authentically engage them with whatever content it is we're trying to serve them. The last is the most important. We so often think about what's in it for us. How can I make money? How can I get more clicks? As per the video before. How can I get a promotion at work because what I did was so cool? Let's instead create a paradigm shift that it's no longer about us, but it's about them. These partners that we have, how do we give them value? We have over 200 influencers that we're in touch with right now. We constantly think about, and my team is here, Alan, Yitzchak, Raquel, Menachem, thank you guys so much for all the incredible work that you guys do and for helping this happen. They're right here. Big round of applause for the team here for helping all these programs take place. And once I'm on that note, by the way, you're actually hiring another partnerships manager. Come to us afterwards. We'd be happy to talk for this program. But again, how do we think about engaging our audience? How do we think about giving value to these influencers so they love us? The more we can give value to our partners, they are the vehicle to be reaching tens, if not hundreds of millions of people, and that's who we should really be focusing on. So in terms of creating rev share programs, it's not just think about how much can we squeeze out of it to generate by ourselves. That might work on day 1 or 2, but not day 360. How do we think about really providing a program whereby we give value to partners and they want to work with us for the long term? There's a huge amount of competition out there. There's a lot of noise out there. And with content, there's a lot of spammy stuff. Kim Kardashian stuff with publishers is a huge competitor of us. All these pop-up publishers are posting a ton of spammy stuff with a ton of ads. But guess what? Some partners come back to us and say, we prefer to post a cute Hometalk DIY post because we know that it's just better. There's less ads. And even though we get paid less, we prefer our audience to be watching your content and seeing what you have to write instead of what they write. Let's think about that, and let's relate that back to us. And whether you have an e-commerce company, publishing house, whatever that might be, think about how you engender that sense of community, how you engage with influencers to ensure that they're going to somehow get paid. And again, we could do this math.